Hi, Les from Retired and Living the Dream. Today's video is going to be a bit of a rant. Why is it going to be a bit of a rant? Well, it's because I watch the news, see what's going on in the UK, and I've got to have my little say about it because I've lived outside of the UK now for 14 years. I live in a beautiful country, Thailand. But when all said and done, the UK is where I grew up for all of my life until I retired at 50. I travelled the world for 2 years and I found a place that I want to hang my hammock, and that is here in Thailand. I've done many videos about finding a new life once you're retired and where to live and things like that, and have your better golden years maybe living in a different country. Now, this is going to be a rant, but it's a real story, it's a true story, because I know, because I did the research on this story. And basically, it's a little bit of what's going on in the UK, what the ordinary taxpayers and everybody else doesn't see. So this is a real story from me, and times this one times real story by what's going on in the UK. And this is probably why our taxes in the UK are the highest since the Second World War. It's unbelievable, the cost to society and the ordinary working people who pay all of these taxes for these services. Now, I was an ordinary working person. I worked in the fire service for 30 years and I dealt with all sorts of people. And for my last 10 years in the fire brigade, I worked with a group of people who used to steal cars and ram them into police cars as a bit of fun, you know, and be chased by the police. Really bad lads, car crime, used to crash into other people and then run away. Now, I used to deal with these people, and I developed a program, and it was a very, very hard-hitting program that I put these individuals through. And I've got to say, I won awards for this program that I developed. And the stats showed that 80% of the people that were on my course over it never re-offended within a 2-year period of leaving my course. It was so hard hitting, and I had various people saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, it's too graphic, it's too hard, it's too realistic. But I persisted that now this is the way forward, because at the end of the day, they have to realise what they are doing. And I would say this was like 20 years ago when I used to do this. Now I would imagine the woke societies, you can't do this, you can't show that, you can't do this. But 20 years ago, this is what I was doing. But this is the cost to society, because where I worked at one stage, I worked at Redcar Fire Station, and there was a car accident about 200 metres from the fire station. So we got called out to this incident. Now, this is the incident which I'm going to describe, and this is the real nitty-gritty of actually what goes on and how much this costs society. This is one accident. This is about one accident and how much this has cost society, and I'll tell you how much it cost society towards the end of this description. So have a guess, put in your comments how much this incident cost. It involves, I'll give you a description, it involved a Range Rover car hitting a Mercedes car at a traffic light intersection of one of the main arteries going in and out of Redcar. So how much do you think this whole incident that cost the police time, the fire brigade time, the ambulance's time, the court's times, the police's time, the repair of the traffic light system, the injuries caused? How much do you think this was going to cost into society? Now put your comments down below how much you think it was going to cost, and I'll come up with a cost towards the end of the video. Right, now what happened? 4 individuals from Whitby, about 30 miles away from Redcar, stole a Range Rover car. 4 individuals, and took it for a joyride. The police intercepted it at Whitby, chased this car for over 30 miles, and then it got into Redcar. Drove through the streets of Redcar being pursued by, this time, 6 police cars. So he came through Redcar being pursued by 6 police cars, and he got to a set of traffic lights and he jumped the traffic. He was overtaking the other cars that were waiting at the traffic lights, went through the red traffic lights, and there was a guy in a Mercedes car going through on a green light. He hit the Mercedes, T-boned it, span over and ended up hitting one of the traffic light posts, knocking the traffic light down, and a couple of concrete bollards, because it was a pedestrian crossing as well. And this accident happened at lunchtime, and there was a couple of schools that were close by. Thankfully, there was nobody stood at the pedestrian crossing when the light was knocked down by this car. Otherwise, it would have killed these people. But it injured the guy in the Mercedes. There was 4 young lads in the car. 3 of them ran away from the car, pursued by the police officers, because there was a local park nearby. And 1 lad broke his leg in the car, so he couldn't run anywhere, and was arrested at the scene. They got the police dogs out, they had the helicopter out, and within 30 minutes they caught the other 3 individuals who'd stolen this car. And they knew which one of them was the driver because of cameras, CCTV cameras and the police footage and one thing and another. So they knew who the driver was and all the passengers. So within 30 minutes of the accident happening, all of the suspects were caught and apprehended and taken into custody. Meanwhile, what was happening, because it was a crash and people were injured, the police had to do an investigation. So the junction, this was a main artery into Redcar and out of Redcar. The traffic jam that went all the way up to the high street. It was a four junction traffic light system. There was cars packed up, couldn't get into Redcar, couldn't leave Redcar. It was a horrendous traffic jam. We couldn't clear the road up until the police forensics had done all their tests. So the road was closed, or that junction was closed, for maybe 3.5 hours. So all of this traffic couldn't be diverted because such was the impact of everything was sprawled all over the road. So they couldn't get past this junction until eventually the police had done their investigations, taken the photographs. Then we tidied up the road, got rid of the oils, and we opened up the junction again. So how did they associate this cost? So because I used to do the people that used to steal cars and they put onto my course, I did an evaluation of this one incident as to how much it cost the society. And this investigation took me at least 6 months of phone calls, asking people, and believe it or not, the amount of people who didn't want to give me certain amounts of information was horrendous, because in reality then this shows up the true cost of one incident, and times this by all the incidents that are happening in the whole country, and the criminals are getting away with it. It's just unbelievable. So I looked into the court's time, because the judge, the barristers, the probation officers, the court's time, the police's time, the witnesses' time, the insurance, how much it's cost for insurance for the cars, because somebody had to pay at the end of the day, the repair of the traffic lights, the fire brigade's time, because we charge because it was a road traffic accident, the council coming to clear up the road, as I've already mentioned, the repair of the traffic lights, the cost of goods that were getting delayed going to the shops, the delayed from the people who couldn't go to work or go to wherever they were going to go to, so the delay in time for various people. So there's a calculated cost for all of this cost. And believe it or not, and I'm going to look at your comments to see how much you believe it came to, was almost £1 million. £1 million for this one incident that I attended. And we attended lots of car crashes, because in Cleveland, it was the car crime capital of the UK. The amount of car crime that went on was unbelievable. So this one incident cost the general public, taxpayers, £1 million. And what did this little scrot get for his actions of stealing somebody's car, crashing into somebody else? 18 months probation. That's where he got, 18 months probation. He didn't even go to jail, and he caused £1 million worth of damage. Now, to give you some sort of cost, it's £1 million worth of damage. At the time, firefighter was on nearly £30,000 a year. So £30,000 a year divided into £1 million takes 33 years. So that one little cherub caused my whole salary to be taken into account over 33 years to pay back society, because that's what the taxpayers have to pay, £1 million. So that's me like working for free for 33 years. That was the cost to society. Times that now by all what's going on with the immigrants coming across and what they get, all the crime, all the benefit system, the benefit frauds, that pales into significance, you know, as to what the taxpayer pays for. So these elite governments, and it's going to be the same with the Labour and the Tories, there's no quick fix to this. So how can we fix this broken system, this broken Britain? How can we afford to carry on paying all of these payments to these people who commit the crime and they didn't even go to jail for it? £1 million. If you stole £1 million from the bank, you'd go to jail, that's for sure. But create £1 million worth of an incident like this, you don't even go to jail. You spend 18 months on probation. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, that's my rant and rave over about one specific incident. I've got many stories to tell with regard to doing this, and that's just one of them. So thanks very much for watching. Leave your comments down below. From Les, Retired and Living the Dream. Till the next time, bye for now.